obviously, this thing is going to be a lot lighter. It's been compared to the original Switch minus one Joy-Con, so it's about that in size and probably a little bit shorter. It's going to be slimmer, meaning slimmer this way, like the Switch went on a diet, slimmer. The screen is 5.5 inches and still 720p. For anyone out there thinking to themselves, oh, they couldn't even have made it 1080p. That's not really even something that's worth doing, because for a screen this size and now even smaller, 720 is more than enough. You ain't gonna see 1080. That's just gonna be a waste of power and battery life. And apparently, according to sources that have already played the Switch Lite, the screen actually does look a little bit crisper too. Probably because it's a little bit smaller and it's a newer screen. Kind of like with the 2DS XL models, how the colors went a little lighter, these Switch colors are pastel and they feel fresher. The lighter color makes them feel lighter, which this is a Switch Lite, so it makes a lot of sense. So the new model is obviously going to be cheaper at $200, and I think it's safe to say that this model is going to be the unofficial, like, replacement from the 3DS. The only hope you have of a successor portable or a successor home console is after this thing has run its course and we're in the next gen and Nintendo decides to move away from the hybrid and go back to doing them separately. Like, there is a whole market of people there that Pokemon Sword and Shield they're still not convincing them to buy this thing. They just don't care for it, and this is the system for them. Like, if you're a 3DS fan and you think the 3DS has an insane library of games, you're literally buying into a handheld successor from the 3DS that already has an insane library of games, and it's only gonna grow from here for the next 2 to 3 years. Internally, the Switch Lite is mostly the same as the current Switch. You have the 32 gigabytes of storage, the spot for a micro SD card, same volume button layout, a headphone jack, USB-C for charging. It has Wi-Fi, obviously, NFC reader, and you can still connect extra controllers. And now that is where things start to get a little bit dicey, a little bit weird, a little bit confusing. Nintendo tried to elaborate on it in their announcement video, but it's still a little tad bit confusing. Or a game that people will be more likely trying to play, Mario Party. So without the removable Joy-Cons, with them being like slammed into the side here, so you can still connect Joy-Cons to this thing and you can still play the games using the Joy-Cons. But the Switch Lite, it doesn't have a kickstand, so either you're gonna have to have a friend hold it for you or find a way to prop it up against something, or buy I'm sure they're gonna make third-party devices for this. You can like get it 3D printed off Etsy. And of course, you could also play like Smash multiplayer this way. You could load it up on your Switch Lite and have your friends connect their Joy-Cons, and you could all crowd around your Switch Lite as you're playing it, and they could try and look over your shoulder to see their character. Again, it's all things you can do, and I'm glad they included them, so it's not like it just straight up can't do these things. If you already have a Switch and you love it and it's perfect for what you need, then a Switch Lite doesn't make any sense. I get that. Take the $200 and spend it on games, but that doesn't make the Switch Lite pointless or stupid or irrelevant or dumb or useless or any of the things I'm seeing these people say online. Like, you need to understand, if you already have this product, you don't need another one. I don't think anyone needs a Switch Lite if they already have the normal Switch. Doesn't that just go without saying? Like, I'm very excited. I think the thing looks friggin' adorable. It looks sleek, beautiful. I love the colors. I want that Pokemon one. I really want them to figure out cloud saves. And let's just get excited for a new Switch model. Unless you're not excited, and then just keep playing Switch. I don't care. As long as you're watching my videos, I honestly don't give a crap. Today is the motherfrickin' day! I was too excited. Here's the new Switch Lite. I'm really excited for this. It kind of feels like getting an old school Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. The bright casing, the blue. So we're gonna open this in a second. I'm gonna pull the second camera out for all of that, but let's keep going with the other stuff. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I forgot that it was gonna come in this big box. Comes with the game and an art book, and I'm really excited to open this too. I'm gonna do that in a second. They also gave us this really cool poster. Not only is it dual-sided and this side looks cool, but they gave Link a little gloss. This might be my favorite amiibo, period. Honestly, right now, I'm loving and hating having a YouTube channel because all I wanna do is start playing this. Then, Trine apparently came out today. I've been hyping this up for a while. Really good games. This is a trio triple pack of all of them, but honestly, I can't even pretend like I'm excited for that right now because there's so much more going on. Ni no Kuni. I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna play on this, because I have to play something on this, and I'm gonna miss the TV aspect of any game I pick to play on it, but I think this was just a really smart move. Link's Awakening started as a Game Boy game. They released it the same day as a Game Boy-like Nintendo Switch. I feel like this was very intentional, and it feels full circle. I think I have to play this portable only. All right, that's my little haul from today. Very exciting, but right now I'm gonna unbox these things. Let's do this. Let's open this bad boy. Here we go. Oh my, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, you can't deny that looks sleek. You can't, whether you think this has a purpose or not, whether you think the Switch Lite is a stupid idea or not, you cannot deny this looks so freaking sleek. Oh my. It's beautiful! It looks so much better than I thought it would. Oh my gosh. I actually love it. Like, I'm not even playing this up for the camera. I love this. Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't get the yellow. This is a really nice shade of blue. Wow, there really wasn't much to unbox here. It was just the system. To think that this can play Breath of the Wild, it still blows my mind. All right, enough yammering. Let's, slide this over and take a look at what's in here. I'm so excited for this too. Oh wow, I butchered that. All right, don't look at how bad that was. Oh my gosh. It's so, there's so much happening today that I don't know if I've been more excited about a new Zelda game or a new Nintendo Switch. Like, there are times where I keep forgetting about one or the other. I'm like, oh, it's new Zelda! Oh, and a new Switch. Wow! Yeah, that's really neat. That's really cool. Oh my gosh. This game is so adorable. I can't wait anymore, guys. All right, I am gonna go stick this thing on charge. I'm gonna spend some time playing the new Zelda, and I'm gonna get back to you with my thoughts on the system and the game itself. All right, guys, I'll be right back. So right out of the box, it actually has half charge, which I didn't expect. So I can dive into setting this up right away. It's so cool. Okay, so I imported my profile over, and now all I have to do is open this and throw the game in and then start playing for a while. One thing I have noticed while setting this up is the buttons are much softer and much quieter. I did play it for 2 hours, and I came to a lot of conclusions. The first one was, I'm really happy I got it in this, like, turquoise, bluey green color. I think by far it's the best color for me and my preferences anyway, but playing Zelda on it, I don't know, just the bluey green aesthetic while I'm walking around a beachfront in a green tunicked Zelda that overall kind of has a bluey green theme in most of its games. It just felt right. It almost felt like I was playing on a Zelda themed Switch. It was just very fitting. I mentioned it as I was down there, but these buttons are just so much softer, and I actually really like the way they feel. It's just not as much of a sharp, popping sharp, crisp sound when you press the button down, which for a lot of people, it's not gonna matter, and you might actually like a firmer button, but for me, as I said, it kind of lends itself more to being a stealthy system. I mean, you're playing it maybe in bed next to someone, or in cars, in road trips, while maybe someone's trying to sleep, maybe you're stealthily trying to play it in class underneath the table while teacher talks. Either way, whatever situation you're playing it in, you're not gonna bother the person next to you with loud, clanky buttons. It is quite quiet, and I think that's clever, and I like it. It feels soft and smooth. Next, I wasn't sure how it was going to feel in my hands because it is quite a bit smaller than the Switch, and I have had my complaints already about how my thumbs start to cramp up, and sure enough, about an hour and a half into playing this thing, because I wanted to play it just how it is to begin with, my thumbs did get a little crampy. I mean, now it's even smaller. I will say, it's not as small as I thought it was going to be. The screen still looks, honestly, comparable in size, when you actually throw them next to each other, you can see it's really not that much smaller, which is what I like about this Switch. It's cut in half by almost a full Joy-Con size, but the screen really hasn't been decreased that much. But it is smaller still, so it kind of sits a little differently in your hands, and you kind of have to bring your hands in a little bit more. And for me, for a kid, this probably isn't an issue. For a lot of people, this might not be an issue. It was starting to hurt a little bit, but thankfully, Satisfy sent this ahead of time. Yeah, sure enough, we have a mini Satisfy version, a light version, and they even made the front white, and it's a heaven sent yet again. But having said that, if you have smaller hands, you won't have an issue, and I love how lightweight it is on its own. It's so cute. It's a neat little package. Its design is so elegant. It's adorable in itself. Zelda, let's talk about that for a second. This game is so much fun. I had trouble putting it down, apart from the fact I fell asleep, but I was having trouble putting it down. Gorgeous looking game. I finished the first dungeon. Actually, I think I finished the first couple of dungeons, but it's an absolute blast. It's not really like, well, it does follow a similar structure to a lot of other Zelda games, but it's got a quirk and a personality to it that other Zelda games don't have. And you'll see what I mean when you start playing, and I'm gonna dive into a full review, but I forgot how weird and random it was. I mean, you can jump in this game, and there's platforming parts, and a lot of the items you pick up are like dog food and Yoshi dolls, and it's a very obscure Zelda in a way. It almost feels like a Zelda that wasn't made by Nintendo. But having said that, it has all of the Zelda elements that make a Zelda game so fun. It's actually really refreshing, and I'm loving it so much. There's some first opinions for you. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. Look, if we're tackling the question of, is this new Switch Lite worth it? The answer is 100% yes. Of course, it depends on your situation. If you're someone sitting there with a actual Switch and a bunch of games, and you're asking me, hey, I already have a Switch, I don't really need a Switch Lite, is it worth it? No, you dingbat. Of course it's not worth it to you. It makes no sense for you to get it. It has little to no use in your life. Like, yes, you could become the person that leaves this Switch in the dock and then takes this Switch out of the house. All right, Mr. Richie Rich Bags. That's all I could do, so I should probably shut up. But it doesn't make a whole ton of sense because you can't transfer your save files. I'm going to have to only play Zelda on this now, unless I start again over here. And there might be other games in the future that I'll think, that's a handheld game. That's a game that I would like to only play in handheld, and then you bet your bottom dollar, I may as well play it on this. I would say overall, in this scenario, no, it doesn't have much of a use for you. However, is it worth it itself if you do not have a Switch? Yeah, of course, yes, because it's a $200 buy-in for an adorable handheld system, and when you think about it, look at this bad boy! Can you believe what this thing does? Like, let's compare this, not to this, but to any other handheld we've had before. I mean, the 3DS, this is taking a steamy dump all over the 3DS right now with what it's capable of, and I would even tip my tippy toe across the line and say that right now to buy a 3DS or this, which one has a better library? I know there's a lot more 3DS games because it's had a longer reign, but I would say this has a better library at this point. I mean, some of the exclusives on this thing, boy! And they're not really handheld games either. I mean, we're talking Astral Chain, we're talking Breath of the Wild. Can the 3DS do that? Can the 3DS do this? No, it can't. I mean, I'm not trying to take a stab at the 3DS, it's a great system, but if we're talking handhelds, let's go into the PlayStation Vita. Great system. This is better. Come on. Better screen, bigger screen, more comfortable, more gorgeous to look at, and, dare I say it once again, out comes the other toe, better library of games. As far as a handheld goes, if you're in the market for a handheld system, this is amazing. I would still say, if you can fork out that extra $100, yeah, if, you know, you kind of want this more than this, but this is cheaper, I would save up and try and aim for the stars on this Switch. But if you really don't care either way, if removable Joy-Cons aren't for you, if you don't even have a HD TV, if your TV is a CRT TV from the 1980s, then, oh boy, this is amazing. For its price and what it can do, don't be like, oh, but what about what it can't do? Forget that. for what it can do for its price, and the library of games you have open to you. Yeah, this is worth it. This is amazing. This is a very exciting day, and it doesn't really even end here. Like, this is a big day, and I have a lot of cool stuff to dive into. I still have to download Untitled Goose Game off the eShop too, but this is really just the start of all of it. It doesn't slow down from here. It only picks up from here. There's gonna be a lot of things, not only for us all to play and enjoy and experience, but for me to talk about. So if you enjoyed this very chilled out, hyped up, excited video, and you want to see me do more things in the future, and you haven't subscribed already, make sure you flip all over that subscribe button. I make new videos whenever I want, which is pretty often. If you enjoyed this, if it helped you, if you learned a little something, I would recommend liking the video. Other than all of that, just have a fantastic day. If you bought the new Switch, let me know down below and enjoy it. If you're playing the new Zelda, let us know down below if you're enjoying it.
And if you're playing the new Borderlands...
Hey, did I say you could speak? No! I didn't say you could say a freaking word! This isn't about you! How about you bring some Borderlands to the Switch and then you can have a pony in this race? Psst.